So I thought about this story for a really long time, and this is my third time actually trying to make this. And I was thinking, I was like, there's no way that I can make a real story out of going to the zoo. Like, it's something so simple. You do it for field trips, you just do it randomly when you're little, like your godfather, godmother, your aunt or uncle takes you. But I was like, but there's no real memorable story until a couple days ago. I remembered that there's a very, very important story pertaining to going to the zoo for me, and it's very incredibly special. There are only probably two instances in my life where I knew how it felt to have a real family. One was when I first met my stepfather, and my me, my brother, and I, and my stepfather all played. All threw just a ball around, and my mother was there. And the second time is this story pertaining to the zoo. A couple years ago, when my dad was visiting, my brother and I, he just randomly was wondering, what our other brother Jonathan was doing. Jonathan and I and Marshall don't share the same father; we share the same mother. And his dad hasn't been around most of his life, so my dad was like, and my dad's very generous. He loves just being there for anybody who needs him. So he was like, hey, why don't you invite, Johnny? And he's like, is your mom doing anything? Why don't you invite your mom? We're like, okay. And surprisingly enough, my mother said yes. So there we were. Me, both my little brothers, my mother, and my father all went to the zoo together. And for the first time in my life, I knew what it was like to have a mother and father and have a legitimate family. I basically got to see what it would have been like, roughly, if my parents had stayed together. And it was astounding. I don't know how so many people can take that feeling for granted. Something so basic. I have literally felt that way twice in my entire life. Twice. Think about that. For those of you who do live with your parents, think about the simplicity of waking up and knowing that they're there, and how much you take that for granted, because there are some of us who wake up and they're not there. My whole life I woke up wishing that they were there and they were not there. That's that. Yes, that's my story about the zoo. I mean, we saw animals, I took pictures on my phone, and then we had dinner, and that was that. Came and went just like that. It was one of those magical experiences that you don't truly grasp until it's over, and then you look back at it and wish that it would have lasted longer. So that's my story about that.